Hello, English 100 students. This is me, Professor Victor Green. I'm talking to you guys today because I have recently found out that a lot of you guys have not taken online classes before. So I want to give you guys a little bit of a tour and heads up so that way you'll be able to understand how to best take this course on the Canvas online system. You'll know exactly what's expected of you and you'll know what to do. I apologize that I did not make this type of video beforehand. I had assumed that you guys had maybe already taken online classes before or knew what it was all about. I should have listened to that old adage about assuming. You know what happens when you assume, right? Well, if you don't, go to YouTube, type in what happens when you assume, and you'll probably see a bunch of little videos that will explain it. That being said, let's go to Canvas right now and kind of give you a quick tour so that way you'll better know how to use it and you can better understand what's expected of you. Before I do that, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about the course discussions. Class discussions are important every week. If we were in a face-to-face classroom, then we would have course discussions all the time. You would sit down in your desks, I would talk to you, you would talk to me, we would have an open discussion with your classmates about the various short stories that we're reading, the topics from the textbook, patterns for college writing that we're reading, and we would openly discuss those things face-to-face. However, since we're in a non-synchronous online classroom environment, we can't do that. So instead, we have connection discussions each week that allow you to give your input and opinion on the various different topics that we read about, or the various different short stories or articles that we read. And that allows you to do an initial post every Thursday it's due. It allows you to do the initial post every week, so that way you can put your opinion and your perspective on that post. And then it allows each of us to respond to you as if we were in a classroom setting. Now, the minimum that you need to do for these discussion posts is you need to post your initial discussion post by Thursday of each week. And to really have a full, broad post that encapsulates everything that you need to, say in your initial post, it should be a good 1 to 2 paragraphs long. I would err on the side of caution and at least make every post 2 paragraphs long, where you really put forward your understanding of the material and say what you have to say about it. Your responses to your peers should be roughly a paragraph long, and you should respond to them in a meaningful way. You don't just want to say, oh, yes, I agree with you, because anybody can say that. If you do agree with them, point out why you agree with them, what specific details you agree with. But even if you do agree with them, bring up some more questions that you guys could discuss. If you don't agree with them, it's okay to say that. Let them know that you don't agree with them and let them know why you don't agree with them. Bring up certain points and counterpoints that you would like to discuss with them, so that way you can have a better understanding of each other. Of course, never be cruel or controversial in your comments, but just make sure that everybody knows what you're talking about and where you agree and disagree and why. Just like you would have to have reasoning and substance behind your answers and your opinions in the classroom setting, we want you to have reasoning and substance in your written responses to the class. So make sure that you have those. And I know it's a little bit difficult to do that at first, but as this online course goes on, you're going to get more and more comfortable with doing it. And it's just the difference between backing yourself up verbally and backing yourself up in writing. Sometimes we tend to shy away from doing it in writing, and so we write very minimal. And I love minimalistic writing, which we're going to get into more as the semester goes on. But you don't want to be so minimal that it's difficult to understand your perspective or why you feel that way. So that being said, let's move past that for now and let's actually go into the modules. When you first open up your course module, you're probably going to go to the dashboard and you'll see our course here, English 100, section 14. You'll click on that, and that's going to bring you to our course homepage, which goes over all of the modules. Now, my view is a little bit different than yours, so I'm going to switch over to the student view in just one moment. But as you go through the modules, you're going to see that each one of them is marked out week by week, and you have a certain amount of assignments that you need to do. So before I go any further, I'm going to switch over to the student view. And this should be pretty close to what you actually see. So over here, make sure that you always take a look at the announcements for the week. I'm going to start putting out the announcements for you. I'm probably going to start emailing them to you guys also, so that way you guys get them. But as I said in the email that I sent out earlier, please make sure that you always put out the announcements. Please make sure that you always check out the announcements. The announcements will come out at least once a week, if not more than once a week, and they have some tidbits and information that you should have as a student that you should understand. Everything within these announcements are designed to help you throughout the week and to help you in your assignments. So make sure to check out the announcements every day that you log in, so that way you can be well informed on what we're going over as students. If you have not downloaded the class, excuse me, if you have not downloaded the class syllabus yet, please go to the syllabus and click on it to download. You can look at it here or you can download it. All right, let's take a look here. All of this has basic information about the course. But if you're not sure, oh yeah, here's a good thing. If you want to know what all the assignments you're going to be graded on here, you have 12 discussions that are due periodically throughout the course. If you don't know when your discussion pieces are due, your discussion pieces are due periodically. And if you want to get a pen and paper handy, I'll let you know what they are right now. So we have connection discussions on weeks 1 and 2, which we're on week 2 right now. We have connection discussions in week 4 and 5 and 6. We have them in 7, 9, 11, 12, 14, 17, and 18. Now you'll notice that we don't have a connection discussion next week, week 3. And that's because I want to allow you to just focus fully on getting your first essay, the description essay, in. A lot of times on the weeks that we have major essays due, there's not going to be a connection discussion due. There will be a optional discussion, which is non-graded, just like we're going to have next week. And this will allow you to ask questions of your peers or from me directly for anything that you have on the essay. If you have any questions on the essay, it'd be great to post right there. Of course, you can also post in the general discussion, which we'll go over in just a moment. But you want to make sure that you utilize that during the week of essays if you have questions on that. But it's not going to be graded, so you're not going to have to stress out or worry about it. Yes, Maddie, are you done?
With that private, yeah. So when does Miss Haley's private start?
Until 6.
Oh,
Okay. So let me just finish this up, okay?
so close. I thought that was way earlier.
I know. Okay, I'm just gonna do this again, then we'll finish up, okay? Okay, so these are the weeks that you can write down. You can pause this video and keep these if you want. But let's go back really quick to the actual course. So if you scroll down in the syllabus, you'll see what are the due dates for all the assignments. And then you'll also see a week-by-week breakdown of what's expected of you. Every week, it'll have the assignments right here on the right-hand side. And in the center, it'll have the topics that we're going to be going over. So if you want to scroll down and take a look at what we're doing every single week, all the way until the final exam, you can do that and you'll know what's coming up. When it comes time to actually seeing this in class, though, you will not see it like that. If you go to the modules, you will only see it broken down week by week. Now, you should have gone over module 0, which is the orientation, which is basically our online syllabus already. If you don't want to see this popping up all the time, press on that little triangle and it'll bring it up so you don't have to look at all those options anymore. Now, when you go through the module, you will see that module 1 starts here. And then you have your introduction, you have your overview, and then you go into week 1 reading and resources. After week 1, you have everything that you'll be going over in week 1, which you went over last week, your pre-writing strategies, your introduction to essay writing, descriptive writing lesson. And then you have your end piece, which will basically tell you, hey, make sure you read everything before going on to the next assignment. What that means is before you go on to your discussion post by Wednesday, hopefully you'll have everything in the course read. And then you'll have your discussion post. Your first post is due by Thursday. Then you need to have your responses to your peers done by Sunday. And then we'll start the week over again. Okay, I'm going to explain the week process to you guys in just a moment. Then you go into week 2. Week 2 started last Monday. And this week, you only had the readings to do. So this week in week 2, there were no lessons to go over in the module, but you just had to read chapter 4 and chapter 5 of Patterns for College Writing. You needed to read pages 25 through 49 in communicating in written English, and Every Little Hurricane. And because my father always said he was the only Indian who saw Jimi Hendrix play the Star-Spangled Banner at Woodstock, in The Lone Ranger and Tonto Fist Fight in Heaven. Then you just need to make sure that you read those readings. And after that, do the discussion piece, which is due this week, which is the golden line discussion. based on Sherman Alexie's The Lone Ranger and Tonto Fist Fight in Heaven for the 2 stories that we read this week. This is the post you should have done your initial post on Thursday. And today is Sunday. You should respond to your 2 peers by the end of the day today. Now, if you have not responded to 2 peers at least so far, please make sure to give your initial post and respond to 2 peers by end of the day today to get full credit. If you haven't done your initial post yet, do it today, please, because after today, you're not going to get any credit for it whatsoever, even if you do it late. So please make sure to do it today. Now let's go back to the modules really quick. After the discussion post today, we will go into week 3. In week 3, you have various lesson modules, strong versus weak thesis statements, subjects and verbs. You'll have a subject and verb practice activity, and there's an answer key there. And then you'll go into writing your descriptive essay. My suggestion is that you get these done as soon as possible. And if you haven't already started writing your descriptive essay, please start writing it ASAP. So as you go through this week, week 3, these will be your readings. You'll go through each lesson. As you go through each lesson, I suggest that you take notes on them, write down what you want, just like you would do if I was giving you a lecture in person. Go through the practice sections. There's the answers. Oh, don't look at the answers yet. You shouldn't have seen those. My bad. This will just give you a heads up. Hey, make sure you read everything previous to this before completing the next step. And that brings you to week 3, which is your description essay. There is a description essay discussion. Like I said, this will open up tomorrow on Monday for the class. And then, of course, you have your description essay prompt. Please make sure that you read through the description essay prompt and follow it to the best of your ability. Now, this week's description essay is not as formal as other essays will be, but just follow the description essay prompt and you'll do well. There's also a description essay rubric here. If you want to know how I'm grading you, this goes over all the different aspects of how you will be graded, and it will explain it to you. Okay. So let me explain to you a little bit about how the modules work. Modules start every day on Monday. So you start on Monday, like you start a week 2 on the 21st. And then Thursday, the discussions due if you're doing a connection discussion that week, and the class ends on Sunday, like this week ends on the 27th, which is today. The reason that it's structured that way is pretty simple. The reason that we start on Monday is so that way you have a good starting point. You work all throughout the week. And then if you are not able to complete the major assignments, you have the weekend to complete it. You have Saturday and Sunday. Now, I understand not everybody has Saturday and Sunday off, but many of you guys do. Now, when I went through my master's program, I took online classes also, and I was also working 2 jobs. So I didn't always have time to do things on Saturday and Sunday, but it did give me more time to make sure that I completed them. So all assignments are due by Sunday, and your course week starts on Monday and then ends on Sunday. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but hopefully you should be able to get used to that pattern. Now, one more thing to share with you guys. I'm going to go over here and leave the student view. At the end of next week, Module 2 will start popping up. Module 2 is already here, but you're not able to see it in your student view yet. You'll notice that after the description essay is done, Module 2 will pop up. So next Sunday, Module 2 will pop up. If you have not seen it yet and you're stressed out about it, don't worry about it. You can already take a look at what Module 2 is all about in your syllabus. Take a look at the prospective or tentative class schedule in your syllabus. You'll see everything that goes on there. Next Sunday, Module 2 will pop up and you'll be able to start working on it and going through the information and readings. The discussions for the modules will not be available, though, until the beginning of that week. So no discussions will be available until Monday of the week that it corresponds with. But if you're wondering what you should be going over for each week, all you have to do is take a look at the week of school that we're in. We're in week 2 right now. Next week, you'll start week 3. When it comes time for Module 2, you'll take a look at week 4, and so on and so forth. If you take a look at the modules this way, it should be easy to go over them and hopefully easy to understand. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can reach out to me in several different ways. One, email me, that's easiest. If you go to the discussion post section and take a look at the general questions discussion, you can also post a statement here. I check this once every 24 to 48 hours, and I should be able to respond back to you. And anybody else is also available to respond back as well. So that's just a quick overview of the online courses. Oh, all right. If you have any questions, please leave a comment or email me. Thank you and have a good day.